My business sucks right now. I'm gonna be completely honest. Um, here's some background and context to where I'm at right now, because at this channel, one of my main philosophies is just complete honesty, transparency about what I'm going through in my own business. I'm not gonna give you some uh, fake version of me where I'm gonna pretend like I'm wildly successful every single month, all year long. I have fluctuations too, just like you do. I have bad months, I have good months, but periods of time where I had many, many good months in a row was due to certain factors. Those factors have not been in place over the last few months. I know what those factors are, I know what I have to do, but I haven't been doing it. And so I am currently in a business recovery mode. But I want to let you know that as you follow my content on this channel, my purpose over the next couple of months is to really focus a lot on what I'm doing in my own business to find clients on Upwork and off of Upwork, and what tools am I utilizing, what skills am I having to increase, how am I adapting to the current economic climate, because in my own business over the last 6 months, it has been in a very fragile state. The reason for it is because I have not been giving it the time of day. I've been hyper focused on managing the building of our house. We had a really crappy builder. We had to step in and put a ton more time into this house than we originally thought we would, just to save this, to save that. And so I've been working the bare minimum over the last 6 months in my business and doing very little sales. And so at the end of the year in 2023, as I had certain contracts come to a close, because most of my contracts with what I do, they last anywhere from 3 to 9 months on average. Some of them push up to a year. A little bit of them go beyond a year. I basically come in, I do these consulting contracts, I get clients to a certain state, and once they can handle things on their own, I'm like the training wheels that then the training wheels get taken off and then they move on. The kind of services I provide don't typically keep me on board for years and years. So I knew that there was contracts that were going to be coming to a close. Some were unexpected due to just the current economic climate, where they just pulled the plug because they didn't want to keep spending the money. It's not that they were dissatisfied. I still had good response from them. It was simply, we've got to focus our priorities in other areas. But then others I knew were coming to a close, and it's just the entire fall leading into the winter, the end of the year, I was not putting the time of day into sales, getting those new contracts in place, finding those new clients that were going to replace the ones that were coming to a close. And in January, I've had one of my worst months in the last 3 years. I literally earned $6,000 in January after having earned $13,000 on average the entirety of 2023. I had months in 2023 where it dipped as low as 10, and then it got up to 11 and 12 on others, but overall the year came out to about 13 on average. The year before, in 2022, I earned $15,000 a month on average. And this last year, in 2023, most of the income drop was due to the second 6 months of the year, the period of time of which I was focusing way too much time on helping getting our house finished, basically being the GC, because our GC was a complete nightmare to work with. And we had already agreed at the beginning of the house build that we would manage the finishing phase. We did not know that we would have to do so much cleanup from messes that he had caused, and we did not know that we would have to invest so much extra time on the finishing side than we originally planned. And part of that is just our own naivety of, we've never built a house before. We didn't know how much time was invested. So I've been completely hyper-focused on that since the summertime of 2023. Another reason why you haven't had videos from me from like October all throughout the end of the year. But I'm now suffering the repercussions of having not done hardly any sales for like the last 3 months. And even the previous 3 months, I was doing very little sales. I was literally doing the bare minimum to keep my business afloat, to just pay the bills. And at the same time that I wasn't doing sales, the economic climate took another downshift. And so it couldn't have been worse timing for me to not be doing sales, because now the sales process is just longer in general for everyone. The hiring process is longer, businesses are more conservative with their spending. You're having to whip out some additional sales tools just to persuade a client to invest in you than you needed to a year ago, 2 years ago. Sales is more difficult now than ever before because of businesses recognizing, wow, the economy is on a downturn. I've got to save more money. I can't just go throwing a bunch of money at this and that. I need some more confidence that what I'm throwing money at will produce a return. And so I also have not been keeping tabs on that, again, because of being so hyper-focused on getting our house finished. So there's things that I could have done differently over the last few months that would have allowed me to put more time in my business. There's lessons learned of like, I shouldn't have sacrificed as much time as I did in my business. I could have found help, in other areas to finish our house and also keep my business afloat. So I honestly wasn't even paying attention to how fragile my business was. And I wasn't really paying attention to how much the economic climate has been shifting down and down because we've been so hyper-focused on other personal things. So January has been this like wake up call of like, oh crap, the economy's in a different state. Businesses are going about hiring differently than they were last year. They've now reviewed their financials from 2023. They're a bit scared, and now they're like approaching hiring differently than they did. So I've been in a state of having to adapt, and I'm trying to feed you enough content of what I'm doing to adapt. I want you to be able to go on this journey with me in recovering my business, and hopefully you can learn things that if you've also had a similar experience where things have bottomed out, or if you've experienced that before, or if you want to prevent that from happening, now's the time to be following these videos, because I'm going to keep you updated on what I'm doing to build my business back up. Things bottomed out, and it's due to my own lack of giving my business enough attention. It's just completely my fault. But I know what it takes to find clients and have a successful business. I know what it has taken, but I also know that it's going to take a higher level of effort and time than it has over the last couple of years because of the economic climate changing. But I know how to adapt. I've had to adapt before. I had to adapt when the pandemic hit. I had to adapt during other, when we've had moves that have happened and I've taken attention off my business. And now I'm having to adapt again. And I will recover and I will build things back up. But I'm not going to feed you a bunch of bull crap saying, hey, I'm earning, $20,000 a month and I'm just constantly and consistently successful. No, I'm not. I'm human. And you have this balance of personal life and work life. And I have I have several months in a row where I'm on a good run and I have a lot of success. And then I have months where I'm not. But I am very aware of what leads to me having months that aren't as good. It's not like I ever have a really crappy month in my income and I don't know why. I look back and I'm like, no, I know exactly why. And so I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what I've become aware of in my own business, which that's the purpose of part of this video, is helping you understand that what has led to my income dropping significantly in January. I mean, literally almost like half of what I earned in December. And hopefully February will be a month where things are climbing back up. I'm starting to get some responses. But again, I'm working within an economic climate that I'm realizing where clients are a lot slower in the interview process. I'm having multiple calls instead of just one. I'm having them message me on Upwork for the course of a whole week before we even get on a call, where it used to be like, they would say, hey, let's get on a call tomorrow. It was just the sales process has slowed down, and that might affect different freelancers differently. But I'm also realizing that the services that I was providing over the last couple of years, some of them have become I can't compete anymore. There's been a lot more freelancers on the scene with YouTube SEO, optimization of videos on social media, and they're charging like 30 an hour. I can't afford to only charge 30 an hour to do jobs. So what I'm having to do in my own business is I have to change the services that I'm offering. I have to adjust some things a bit, and that's what I'm currently in the process of brainstorming, so that I can earn the money that I need to earn, because certain services that I was providing, there's now a lot more people on the scene trying to provide the same thing, and I can no longer compete. So I'm having to kind of broaden out and go after more general marketing strategy and come at it as, hey, I'm a consultant, you're paying me for consulting to revamp your marketing strategy, but let's put a focus on video as being the core of your marketing strategy. I'm having to broaden out a bit, and I'm going to share more with you in coming videos, kind of what kind of jobs I'm going after, how I'm structuring my proposals, because I'm having to adapt how I'm doing the sales process and what services I'm pitching. And hopefully you can learn from what I'm doing and you can adapt it to your type of freelancing. I think there's lessons to learn regardless of what you do as a freelancer. There's lessons to learn from what I'm doing that can be applied to what you do. And hopefully we can, I want to be as honest as possible, because I feel like that's the best way that you can learn. You don't learn from people that just consistently put on an act, pretending as if everything is just perfect for them all the time, when it's not. I think we have a huge problem with our modern day and social media, that people create these personas, these online images of themselves, and they're so afraid when things go wrong in their life to share that with their audience, because they think that now the audience is not going to see them as legitimate. Oh my gosh, you're no longer making enough money? Well, I'm not going to follow you anymore because you clearly don't know what you're doing. Like, that's not the truth. The truth is that if you're just being honest, then hopefully you can relate to me more and realize that, oh, like, you have fluctuations, and sometimes your business bottoms out, and sometimes you have to adapt, and sometimes your income is crap just like me. And the truth is that is how it is. So hopefully you can learn from me as I save my business. And I mean, it couldn't be worse timing. I'm now in this new house with a higher cost of living, and but I know what it will take to build my business back up, and I'm going to do that, and you're going to learn from me along the way. And I can have that accountability with you as well, to share with you what I'm doing, what's working, what's not working, as I continue to navigate this new economic climate and try to figure out how I need to make certain shifts. So just wanted to share that with you so that you understand the context of what's happening in my own business. Like, with all the proposals I sent last week, I should have gotten more invites to jobs, or more interviews than I did. Like, out of 20 proposals, I got like 3 interviews. Typically, it's been a lot higher than that with the amount of proposals that I used to send and how many interviews I got from that and how many clients. It's just, yeah, it's like I feel like I hit a wall, and I'm gonna bust through that wall, and I'm gonna figure out how to get over it. And it will likely be me climbing over it opposed to busting through it. It's more of a process than that. But I've got a lot to share, a lot of strategies to share with you on how to go about adapting. I mean, this is the best kind of skill that you can learn, is how to adapt when things don't go according to plan. The most successful freelancers out there are the ones that know how to adapt, and they're quick at realizing, oh, I've got to adjust my services. I've got to adjust my pricing. I've got to adjust how I'm going about sales, how I'm going about talking to clients, because of various things that are out of their control, whether it's personal life stuff or whether it's economic shifts. There's things that will cause you to have to adapt and change, and what was working is now not working in the same way. And right now I'm having to adapt, and likely you are too, because some of the reasons why I have to adapt were personal reasons of things I had to focus on, but other reasons are economic. So with that said, I will see you in the next video with some more information on what I'm doing and what I'm learning about what it takes to find clients on Upwork and outside of Upwork to become a successful freelancer in 2024.